Wow, that class was really tough. I think I'm gonna go get a burger. Do you want to come?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey Derek, do you mind if I put the radio on?
No, go right ahead.
Breaking news. There's been another E. coli outbreak in the local area, making this the second outbreak in the last few months. Research shows that the risk of E. coli poisoning comes from the use of corn to feed cows instead of grass, which they are evolved to eat. You see, when cows eat grass, E. coli is shed, reducing the risk of poisoning. But since corn is produced at a low cost and there is bountiful supply, factory farms have switched to feeding cows corn, which is why we are seeing more E. coli outbreaks. Not only is corn harming humans with E. coli, but transportation of corn also increases emissions into the air and contributes to greenhouse gases and climate change. Think about that the next time you sit down for a burger.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that was the cause of E. coli.
Me neither.
What can I get you?
Can I do a 4-piece nugget?
With what sauce?
Sweet and sour, please.
Okay.
And then just a Big Mac.
Hold on. Have you seen this video?
And welcome back to Riviera News Station. Today we have a story about a woman who is fighting animal and environmental rights each day by making one big change in her life, going vegan. She's here now to answer some questions. So how long have you been vegan?
Well, I was a vegetarian for about 13 years and I became a vegan about 7 years ago.
So what was your main reasoning for becoming vegan?
I realized how bad the meat and dairy industry were and wanted to go vegan for animal rights reasons because of how poorly treated animals are in factory farms. Also, the environmental impact of the meat industry on the climate change is staggering.
How do you feel about the availability of vegan options? Do you feel that they are easily accessible?
I would say there's a decent amount. Starting out when I started out as vegan 7 years ago, there wasn't as many choices, but it's getting better and it's improved over the years. There definitely could be more choices, but overall there are available options.
Okay. Has the pricing of vegan options been a challenge for you?
Yes, they can be. Vegan choices can be very expensive, like getting charged extra for milk substitutes at coffee shops or even at the grocery stores. It can get pretty pricey. There are options though. It's just hard if you're on a budget. Like there are cheap junk food that are vegan, but it's not the best choice for everyday healthy diet. But it can be a challenge.
So what would you say to people considering becoming vegan but aren't sure if they could really stick to that diet?
I would say it's definitely not super easy at first, but after about 3 months, you kind of forget what it's like to have meat and dairy. So your body becomes used to it, it learns about the changes you're making, and it just becomes easier. Even after being vegan for so long, not too long ago, I had the taste of ice cream. I didn't even like it.
Oh, really?
So I would never not want to be vegan. It's just a lifestyle at this point.
Okay. So what would you say to the people who rely on the meat industry for business? Do you agree with their kind of work, or you feel that any changes should be made?
I do not agree with any sort of animal agriculture, especially factory farming, because the animals were treated so poorly in those conditions. We're not entitled to kill and eat helpless animals, even if they're raised more humanely, which they're not on these factory farms. I quite honestly think that they should find different ways of doing their business to make it more humane if necessary. Obviously, I prefer more vegan options because they are available and doable. But of course, people do make a living off of the meat industry, so I think that there just needs to be changes in the way that they treat the animals.
So would you say you take more of an anthropocentric standpoint or a non-anthropocentric?
I would definitely say I take a non-anthropocentric standpoint because I think animals are deserving of more value. But even if you don't see a problem with the mistreatment of animals, humans are impacted in a big way through either E. coli poisoning, increased infectious diseases, because by destroying animal habitats, we're bringing animals closer to us humans, and there's more spread of diseases. Where also the meat production is in general is being a big contributor to climate change and destroying the environment that we humans live in. So whether you have an anthropocentric or a non-anthropocentric view, it is impacting animals and humans. So we need to fix something.
Do you have any last minute thoughts?
Yes, I do. I just wanted to say that although it may be questioned of whether transitioning to a vegan diet really can make an impact, I can proudly say that I have saved over 2 million gallons of water, 49,800 pounds of CO2, and 2,500 animals. So it does make an impact.
Thank you for tuning in to the Riviera News Station, where we learned more about what you might not have realized about meat eating. This is Kaylee signing off. Wow, I didn't realize my meat eating had such a negative impact on the environment and animals. How can I fix this, Derek?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
Take a look at this. The Commission reports that the present system of producing food animals in the United States is not sustainable and presents an unacceptable level of risk to public health and damage to the environment, as well as unnecessary harm to the animals we raise for food. They must be talking about factory farming. Let's take a look at how cows are treated to make food like this Big Mac. Oh wow, this source says cows are stunned unconscious with a bolt gun and then hung upside down and bled, skinned, then dismembered, eviscerated, and processed into hamburger meat. Dairy cows are artificially inseminated with rape racks in order for them to continue to produce milk, which is denied to their calves and sold to humans. Not only this, but cows are the top emitters of greenhouse gases, contributing heavily to climate change. What can we really do to combat this crisis? Well, this source says grass-fed beef is better because not only is it better for human health, but it allows cows to eat what they were evolved to eat. Organic meat can also be a better option because the animals are not raised in factory farms. The only problem is that these better alternatives are often more expensive, as you can see in this video I found. Also, simply buying locally from local farms avoids supporting factory farms, as well as avoiding eating out at restaurants, as they commonly purchase meats produced by factory farms. This sure is a lot of new information, but it makes me think that maybe I shouldn't be eating this Big Mac. I definitely need to reconsider my eating habits.
There are many different fallacies related to eating meat, such as the appeal to people fallacy, which, quote, relies on the incorrect assumption that because many people do something or think something, it must be right. Forte, 2021, page 189, unquote. Just because a majority of people purchase and eat meat from factory farms does not mean this is the right thing to do. This video was brought to you by Bentham, the father figure to animal ethics, who believes animals are worthy of moral consideration because they are capable of experiencing pain and pleasure.